everyone, Lily Zhang here. Welcome to my lovely kitchen here in Minsk, Belarus. And I'm currently here because I'm playing the Belarus Open this week. The main draw starts on Friday, but right now it's currently Wednesday for me, so I have some time to answer some of your questions that I asked you guys to submit via social media on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and whatnot. So yeah, why don't we just jump right into it? Jiahao Elsie from Instagram asked, how did you start to play table tennis? So I started when I was about 6 or 7 years old, but not seriously. Like, my parents, they're both from China, so they used to like to play for fun. And actually, funny story, my dad was a professor at Stanford University, and we lived on campus, so every time we went to go do laundry in the laundry room there, they had a table tennis table in the back. So while we were waiting for our laundry to be done, just as like something to kill time, I would just hit around with my parents for fun, super chill, super, recreational, nothing serious at all. But I didn't start playing seriously until maybe 8 or 9 years old, when my friend took me to the local table tennis club in Palo Alto, California. And then when I first walked in, I was like, whoa, like just taken aback by everything, because it was that moment that I saw how serious and how physical of a sport table tennis really was. At that time, I think there were 15 tables in the club, and I just saw people like running and jumping and balls flying everywhere, and I was like, oh my god, this is a real thing, this is legit. And so I started signing up for junior training classes and private lessons as well, maybe starting out with once or twice a week, and then slowly working my way up as I started getting better and better, and coaches were telling me maybe I have a chance to make something in the sport. And I think I made my first national cadet team when I was 10 years old, and it was that moment when I was like, oh, like, yeah, it's possible that I can really do something in the sport. And it became my dream to make it to Olympics, and I guess, the rest is history. All right, next question from, let's see, f.yang on Instagram asked, how many hours do you practice per day? So this usually varies a lot over the years, depending on where I am in the world at the moment, or if I'm in competition or anything. But I would say now I'm training full time at in Düsseldorf, Germany, at the German National Training Center, and I would say I practice about 4 to 5 hours a day ish, from Monday to Friday, but definitely sometimes taking a break in the afternoons, like on Wednesday or Friday, so I'm not too burnt out, because oftentimes we have league matches on the weekends, so we're either traveling or playing matches, so it's good for me to have a break too. But yeah, definitely a lot more than my previous years when I was in university. I think back then I was practicing maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks at most, because it was really just no time to practice too much. So yeah, a lot more. All right, next question from Grant ZD. Have you ever considered cutting your hair for table tennis? Great question. This is the current length of my hair right now. It's getting pretty long, I would say, actually. Actually, when I was younger, I did have short hair. I think for a while, from 10 to 15 years old, I had like really short pixie cut hair. and it was not my decision. I was in China training for the summer, and I remember one of the requirements there was that if I wanted to train with the team, I had to cut my hair because that was their rules. I don't know, like they take it super seriously. So my dad had to drag me to the local salon, and I was just crying while they were cutting my hair. And yeah, so if you look back on photos of me as a child, super short hair. Actually, people thought I was a boy. A lot of the times I would wait in line and people would be like, "Hello, sir," and I'd be like, "I'm a girl," like. So yeah, now that I'm older, I definitely prefer to have long hair. And once in a while, you know, if I'm sweating a lot or moving too fast, like my hair will kind of smack me in the eye a bit. But overall, it's not bothering me too much, and I like it a lot. So now I would not cut my hair really short, like pixie cut short, but I definitely should cut my hair now. Okay, next question by Lim on Instagram asked, what was your most exciting match to play in your career? Ooh, there's a lot of exciting matches, I feel like. But I would say the one, I mean, most recently was at the World Cup in Chengdu, China, that I just played in last week. That was absolutely insane. I came in as the wild card and the 18th seed, I believe. So, I mean, 18 out of 20, I was like, all right, I'm here. It's great opportunity. I'll try my best, but was not really expecting anything, like any real results out of it. My only goal was to, I guess, advance from the group, and that already would be a big step for me. So I was really happy to have advanced. I beat Adriana Diaz from Puerto Rico in the groups, and then lost to Bernadette Zech from Romania. So I advanced second from the group, and then my first match was against Miyu Hirano of Japan, and she's ranked, I think, number 9 in the world. So I was like, all right, this is gonna be fun. I'm just gonna try my best, go out there and enjoy the game. But I really, like, never in my wildest dreams was I expecting to be able to win that match. And I came in and I won the first game, and I was thinking, wow, great, like the pressure is kind of off. Like I did what I, you know, wanted to do, just win a game or two. And then won the second game. I think it was down 5-0 in the second game. Somehow came back, won that, and I was just thinking, like, oh my god, like at this point it's possible, I think. And she came back to 2-2, then she was up 3-2, and even though I was down at that point, you know, winning the first 2 games gave me a lot of confidence and motivation that I was still in the game and I still had something to play against her. So yeah, I kind of just let go of all my expectations and was playing with a lot of momentum and motivation, and somehow ended up coming out on top in that match. And it was honestly crazy, you know, being able to play in Chengdu, China. And also my mom was in China at that moment, so she came to watch, my aunt and uncles, and this was the first time they were ever watching me play live table tennis. And excuse me, and it was in China too, so it was extra cool to be able to play in a country that I have a lot of cultural roots in, and to have my family come. So that was definitely one of the most exciting matches of my life. Other ones, I would say probably Youth Olympics in Nanjing, also in China, so maybe China's like my special country to play in or something, I don't know. But yeah, the bronze medal match at the Youth Olympic Games against Miyu Kato was also a really exciting match for me and for my career. Okay, next question. Alvin.Cruz87 asks, what do you think is a better style? Offensive, aggressive loops or defensive chops? I wouldn't say that's either is a better style. I think everyone is different, so it really depends on the person and how they prefer to play. I guess personally for me, I would rather play against offensive players just because I never got too much practice against defensive players, so I often don't have enough patience against them. I like quick, fast points. That's just my style, and so when I play against defensive players, sometimes I lose patience, and yeah, I'm still learning, but I guess to answer the question, it really depends on the person, so I wouldn't say there's a better style. Jonathan J. Blaza asked, what are the most important things you choose to think about in the last few minutes before a big match? Great question. Personally, before I play a big match, I'm really, really focused mentally. Just in general, for me, like practice, training, obviously super, super important, but I think for me, it's my mental game that really makes the difference. And if I'm in a good state mentally, if I'm motivated, if I'm prepared, if I'm calm, then I know I'm gonna have a good match out there. So before a big match, I'm just trying to hopefully would have prepared my strategy beforehand with my coach or analyze the videos, but like the last few minutes before the match starts, I'm just kind of zoned in, usually doing some breathing exercises to try to slow down my heart rate a little bit because I tend to get really nervous, and I'm just kind of visualizing what the match looks like, trying to prepare if I'm going to serve this, how will she return, and just trying to like picture that in my head. Personally, that helps a lot for me. I guess everyone is different again, but yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that mentally I'm very calm and I'm very focused before the match. But great question, because I'm also still learning. I think everyone gets nervous before a big match, and it takes a lot of time and experience before you learn how to really get ready and focus and prepare. From Jonathan Blaza, he asked, what equipment do you use? So right now my blade is the JOOLA Nobilis Pro PBOC, I think, is the official name, and my rubbers are both Riser Pro 50. Ming Chang from Facebook asks, who do you think is the fastest women's player in the game? I reckon it's Liu Shiwen, but do you have any other players in mind? I would say you are right, Ming. Liu Shiwen is insanely fast. I think that I played at the World Cup, I played two of the fastest players in the world, Liu Shiwen and Miu Hirano. They're both insanely fast. Like the ball is just like a bullet, rocket. And yeah, Liu Shiwen, Miu Hirano, Mima Ito, a lot of the Asian players I would say have faster styles. But yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head with that one. Next question. All right, De Latran asks, how do you manage your time between playing professionally and your studies? So I actually get this question a lot because I went to UC Berkeley for my undergraduate degree, and luckily I was able to graduate last year in December, so now I'm full-time professional, fully focused on playing table tennis. But before, yes, it was a big thing for me to be able to manage my studies and manage playing table tennis on the national team. This is a good question. I would say that time management and knowing what's important to you is crucial to be able to do both. Because I think that, for me at least, in the beginning I was a little overwhelmed with everything. So my freshman year of college, I was not managing both very well because my head was kind of in two worlds, and I didn't know how to handle it really, because at the same time I was trying to be just a normal college student, do my work, go to classes, which took up a lot of time, but also I still wanted to play because it's what I know, it's what I grew up with, what I love, and it's my whole life. But it was kind of such a huge transition for me going from high school to university that I really was unable to do both, and I kind of just was like, all right, I'm done with table tennis because I can't do both. And this is usually what, unfortunately, what players in the US are doing at the moment, where we have really, really great youth and junior players, but as soon as they go to university or college, they end up quitting and then just focusing on studies. And that was also my thought process going into Berkeley. So I pretty much quit, I would say, for a year. And after that, it was the Rio Olympics coming up. So I decided that why not? I'm just going to take a year off of university and just focus on table tennis for Rio. And I did that. But then coming back from that year to Berkeley, that was the year that I really had to learn how to manage my time between playing professionally and between being a full-time student as well. And so I think that what really helped me was keeping a really tight schedule of my entire day, having my classes down, putting time in for studying or doing homework, and then putting in a slot for practicing, and putting in a slot for just going to dinner or hanging out with friends, and just kind of going with a trial and error schedule in the beginning to see what worked for me. And sometimes it would be, more table tennis, more practice, or sometimes it would be more studying. And after some time, I would say a few months, I kind of knew what was working well for me, how I was feeling mentally or physically. And I think, with every month, with every week, with every day, I was starting to know myself more and more. And so my schedules were getting, more accurate, I guess. And so from then on, I was able to, just understand myself better and know if I needed to take more time off just to hang out with friends and take some time just for myself to relax, because I think this is also really important. A lot of people get burnt out if they try to do too many things at once. So it's always good to be able to manage a social life, professional life, and study/work life. So yeah. Next question. Nam Boy asks, 3-0 match or 11-9 in a deciding match? That depends, I guess. 3-0 match is always easier for the heart a little bit. It's more relaxing. But 11-9 is like, in a deciding game, is like always the best feeling afterwards. And I think these matches are also really, really important because playing the distance or playing till the very end and being super close is really, really important for your experience, for learning from the match, for your future matches. So honestly, even though it's always nice to win 3-0, I think having those really tight, close games are important for growing and for learning more. So 11-9 in the deciding game, I guess. PacChan01 asked, most young American ball players take a step back from the game after the Olympics. You took the leap to be a professional instead of getting a quote-unquote real job. How's your experience so far? Has it been what you expected? Again, great question. This is very true. Like I said before, The system in the US is not super professional, so it's like we do have so many young, talented, and amazing junior players who are doing really, really great in international competitions, and I feel like can compete with the best countries in the world, whether it's China or Japan. A lot of the young Americans are getting medals in World Juniors or World Cadets, but oftentimes it's that as soon as they reach university, there's no real system in place that lets young table tennis players to keep playing professionally, because there's no league, there's no real way, I would say, to earn a living in the US. So unfortunately, a lot of people do quit afterwards, and this was the same case with me as well. I love playing table tennis. It's my absolute passion, but when I was in university and trying to assess what my options were, table tennis wasn't looking so good, just because of the players before me. I saw what they did, and I just didn't think that I could really make a living off of table tennis. So I like I said before, I also decided to just focus on studying, but it's hard to give up something that you grew up playing and loving, and table tennis is just such a huge part of my identity and who I am, and I feel like I haven't found something else that really gives me the same amount of passion and adrenaline and, I don't know, just pure love for the game. So it took a lot of months, a lot of thinking, a lot of getting to know who I am, but after university, after Berkeley, I decided to, instead of taking a quote-unquote real job in the States and working at some company and having a stable, more stable career, I decided to just go all in and start playing table tennis professionally. So I moved to Europe, to Germany, first of all, to play the league here and to play all the big tournaments and pro tours, and just devote all my time to table tennis. And I will say that in the beginning it's pretty tough, like, not gonna lie. Being away from home was hard for me. I was really, really homesick for the first few months, because in university I didn't stay at my parents' place, but Berkeley was only an hour and a half from my hometown, so I could easily visit my parents every day, and all my closest friends were back in the States, so it was a big transition in the beginning. But I will say that after some time, a lot of time and self-care and self-evaluation and trying to understand why I did this, I realized that it's an opportunity that not a lot of people get to have, and being able to take a step back and look at my position and my place, it's truly incredible that I get to even be here and to have this chance in this life to be able to play table tennis. So I think having that appreciativeness and that gratefulness really propels me and motivates me every day to keep going, even through the tough times, because everyone has tough times. Everyone has moments where they want to give up and quit. But it's just reminding myself that I get to have a full-time job doing what I love, and I get to travel the world, currently in Belarus right now. I get to meet new people, I get to experience new things. That's always something that gives me a lot of, I don't know, just fills me with a lot of love and appreciativeness and gratefulness and positivity. So I also wrote an article about my experience and the steps I took to, really just love what I'm doing and be grateful for what I'm doing and try to find the positive side of things instead of being super negative all the time. So if you want to check that out on JOOLA.us, it's one of my blog articles, so you can read more in depth about that. But yeah, so I would say to sum it all up, my experience has been incredible, I think, and truly happy with where I am right now, and I'm hoping that this is just the beginning and a lot more great things to come. And yeah, so this is a deep one. As someone who grew up in an Asian American household, how do you deal with the pressures and expectations you put on yourself, especially when things don't go the way you want? Really great question. Yeah, it also ties back into what types of sacrifices I had to make and why I decided to pursue table tennis professionally. I would say that yes, my parents are both immigrants from China, so coming to America was a really big step for them, and I know that they sacrificed so much for me to give me a better life in the US, whether it was, a great hometown to grow up in, great living conditions, super fantastic education. So I know that, of course, they wanted me to pursue education. Education in their minds is always the highest and the most important. And, after that, after college, to get a really good job and kind of climb up the career ladder. But at the same time, I know that they love me no matter what I do. And even though they value these things, I think that they value my happiness the most. So regardless of what I chose in the end, I think they're always going to be there to support me and to be behind me through the tough times or anything. So yeah, I must say that I'm insanely grateful for everything they've done to me, done for me, and even though I had to deal with a lot of pressures and expectations, at the end of the day, I know that they will be there for me, so it's all good. This is a good one. CP Table Tennis asks, are you going to come to Austria Open? Can you sign for me? And to answer that, yes, I am coming to Austria Open. First going from Belarus to Tokyo for the World Team Cup, and then heading straight to Linz for the Austria Open. So I will see you there, and of course I can sign whatever you want. So yeah, I would say that's it. I should probably finish gluing my rubbers and getting ready for bed. Got a long day tomorrow and starting to prepare for my match in singles on Friday, and I think doubles starts on Friday as well. I'm playing doubles with Buria, so here's to a good tournament and hopefully a good year. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.